Let me tell you something strange about people who look confident. We live in a world where confidence is celebrated, rewarded, admired. Yet some of the most confident-looking people you meet are quietly holding something fragile underneath. And here's the question that always lingers beneath the surface: what if confidence isn't always what it seems? It's easy to assume that confidence is real or fake, that you either have it or you don't, that some people are simply born with it, while others struggle to catch up. But that's not the full picture. Beneath the surface, there's an entire psychology unfolding, one that has less to do with arrogance or deception, and much more to do with protection, survival, and how the self learns to stay intact in a demanding world. See, for some people, faking confidence isn't about impressing others, it's about staying upright. It's not about believing you're better, it's about believing you'll be safe. And this isn't judgment, it's understanding. You've seen it before: the steady voice, the firm handshake, the way someone speaks without hesitation, even when they're unsure. They hold eye contact, they speak decisively, they rarely admit doubt. From the outside it looks like confidence, polished, controlled, certain, and sometimes it is. But other times it's rehearsed, practiced, carefully assembled. You might notice the subtle signs, the way they overprepare, the way they fill silence quickly, the way they assert certainty before anyone questions them, the way vulnerability never quite appears. Psychologists have found something fascinating here. Confidence isn't just a trait, it's a behavior, and behaviors can be learned, copied, performed. What we often call fake confidence is actually something closer to identity crafting, the act of presenting a version of the self that feels safer than the unprotected one underneath. And in a culture that rewards certainty, speed, and visibility, this performance doesn't just make sense, it becomes adaptive. Maybe that confidence isn't arrogance, maybe it's armor. For many people, this behavior doesn't come from ego. It comes after erosion, after being doubted too many times, after being overlooked, after learning that hesitation gets punished and certainty gets rewarded, after discovering that softness doesn't always survive exposure. There's often a moment, quiet, internal, when someone decides they won't be seen as unsure again, not because uncertainty disappeared, but because it became dangerous to reveal. People assume fake confidence means someone doesn't know who they are, but often it means they know exactly where they feel fragile, and so they compensate. There's a psychological pressure here, the belief that who you are internally isn't enough to meet the moment externally. Confidence becomes a bridge, a way to cross situations that feel too exposed to enter honestly. Culturally, we reinforce this constantly. We applaud certainty, not reflection; speed, not thoughtfulness; visibility, not congruence. So people adapt. They don't fake confidence because they want to deceive. They fake it because they want to belong without bleeding. Because think about it, when was the last time you felt completely sure and completely safe at the same time? And when you didn't, what version of yourself did you bring instead? Here's where it gets complex. Not everyone who fakes confidence is doing it from strength. Some are doing it from fear, from anxiety, from the belief that if they pause, hesitate, or soften, something will be taken from them. Confidence is meant to signal security. Yet the more someone relies on performance, the less secure they often feel internally. The same behavior that protects them can also trap them. In a world that constantly says be certain, be bold, be visible, choosing confidence, even borrowed confidence, becomes a form of survival. But over time, the mask gets heavy, because the self underneath never gets rest. The longer someone lives in performance, the harder it becomes to tell where the role ends and the person begins. Doubt doesn't disappear, it just goes underground. And yet something still shifts. People who fake confidence long enough often become highly perceptive. They read rooms well. They sense expectations quickly. They learn how systems work. They aren't unaware. They're highly aware. Research quietly supports this complexity. Confidence-related behaviors can temporarily regulate anxiety, improve performance, and stabilize self-image under pressure. But when confidence isn't internally aligned, the nervous system never fully relaxes. The body stays alert, ready, braced. It's not weakness, it's adaptation. Sometimes that presence makes people misunderstood. They seem distant, intimidating, unapproachable. But beneath that certainty often lives someone deeply attuned, someone who learned early that safety came from control. That certainty was protection. That hesitation invited harm. Maybe that's what real confidence begins as. Not belief, but permission. Permission to stand where you are, even if your hands are shaking. Permission to show up before you feel ready. Permission to borrow strength until your own arrives. So the next time you notice someone who seems overly confident, maybe don't assume they're pretending to be more than they are. Maybe they're protecting something tender. And maybe, just maybe, fake confidence isn't a lie. Maybe it's a bridge between who someone is and who they're learning they're allowed to become. Because in the end, confidence isn't about never feeling unsure. It's about showing up anyway. And sometimes, that's the most honest thing a person can do.